I'm all about the quick and easy switches. Do I sometimes pull food out of the garbage and put it into the compost in my house? I do, but I'm not asking you to do that. Um, as I said in a post I did today on the Instagram that I can't get into right now because I'm locked out. Um, there are people out there who are making their own tissues out of old clothes and using coffee grounds to make body scrubs, and I am so happy they exist. But I am not really like that, and I certainly don't expect my clients to be like that. So I'm all about the quick and easy switches that are going to stick around for you. First thing, take your shoes off at the door. Not difficult, makes a big difference. You can track in heavy metals from outside, which are bad for your health. You can track in all sorts of fecal matter from dogs and birds. And it's just a super easy way of keeping some of the toxins from entering your home. Open the windows regularly, even in the winter. Pick, now because of climate change, we have some days that are 60 degrees, even in the middle of winter. So use that as an opportunity to air out your home. Indoor air is more toxic than outdoor air because of all those things that are in our furniture, in carpets, in rugs, on couches and bedding. So clear out the air and vacuum often also because it can live in dust. So if you do that, you're definitely going to keep a less toxic environment in your home. And you can also have plants that filter the indoor air. If you do a search for plants that filter air, you will get a lot of great options. Check your personal care and home cleaning products for the word fragrance or parfum. Super easy to spot. And if it doesn't have a little asterisk that says made of pure essential oils or sourced from blah, 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 then you could look online. If it's a product that you love so much, you could look online and see if they disclose the ingredients in their fragrance. If they don't, think about whether it stays on your body or in the air for a long time. Like if it's a shampoo that you wash out, that is better than if it's a body lotion that's going to go over your whole body and stay on your body for the whole day. Candles, room spray, fabric spray. If it contains fragrance, that's more of a perfumey fragrance and not from essential oils, or doesn't have a disclosed fragrance, I would avoid it. I would opt for something that that discloses its fragrance and uses more essential oils, because it does go into your air and you're breathing it. Febreze, not good. Dryer sheets also are one of the worst offenders for both safety and sustainability. They don't break down in the environment, and they contain a whole host of toxins, including fragrance, and they're bad. I love wool dryer balls. I think I have them on another slide actually, so I'll go into that in a second. Choose personal care and home fragrance brands that commit to cleaner ingredients and packaging. If they're saying it and if they're disclosing it, if you still aren't really satisfied or you feel like it's sketchy, ask them on social media, especially if you have a bigger following. Tag them and say, hey, can you tell me about, or go onto one of their posts and ask the question. And if they don't respond the way you want them to, then I would look elsewhere. A simple switch is using bar soaps, because body wash comes in a big honkin' plastic thing, and bar soap is actually zero waste. It goes away after you use it, and usually comes packaged in paper, which is much more recyclable. PCR plastic, personal care is just really tough to recycle because of all the different types of plastic that's used, you know, in a pump. The pump, the top of the pump is different than the tube, and there's a little spring in there, and it's just, tubes are not recyclable at all. So look for brands that are using post-consumer recycled plastics as a next step. Aluminum packaging is also becoming big for personal care brands as well. When you're shopping, buy yourself a super cute tote. There are so many. One that fits folded up into your bag is great. Baggu has some that fold up and I just throw it in my purse and I have it with me always. Take produce and pastry bags with you when you shop and reuse them. They make some cloth ones. They make some that are actually made out of plastic. I have those and I love them because you can reuse them so many times, and they come in different sizes and you can fit a whole bunch of stuff in. And when you get home or when you finish using it, just stick it in your reusable shopping bag so it's there next time you shop. And if you don't want to buy those, then just use the ones that you either have at home now or the next time you go shopping. Keep those after you're done with them, and you can reuse those for a long time as well. Learn how to store your produce for longer freshness. I didn't get into composting or food stuff at all here, or fashion. Those are two huge contributors to the sustainability issues, to greenhouse gases. So if you learn how to store your produce for longer, then you actually will use it and it won't go to waste, because once food enters the landfill, it releases a ton of methane, and that leads to greenhouse gases. So learn how to store your produce for longer. You could just Google it. There are a million solutions for a million different types of things. You put cilantro in a glass, you wrap it in a damp cloth, you know, there are all sorts of different things. Try to always have your reusables with you. So I have my bag, I have my water bottle always with me. I have a keep cup, which I use for coffee, although most of the cafes aren't doing that now because of COVID, but they'll get back to it. And if you're out and you don't have it, if you have to buy single use, if you're like dying of thirst, try to look for glass or aluminum, because aluminum is actually recyclable over and over and over again. And glass is much easier to recycle than plastic. There are issues with glass too, but in general, it's better for the planet, and it's definitely better for your health than drinking stuff out of plastic. And try to shop with avoiding plastic packaging in mind. So I've started to look for things like peanut butter in glass instead of plastic. Look for pasta in a box instead of a plastic bag. Just simple changes like that will just increase your sustainability over time and lessen your toxic load from that packaging as well. You can start replacing your Ziploc bags and cling wrap with beeswax wrap. Bees Wrap is a brand that I really like, and it actually goes over products, or you can put it over a bowl. You can wrap half an avocado in it, and you hold it like this, and it will actually stick to itself. Silicone bags. I love Stasher bags so much. Stasher is a B corporation and they're a great company. Silicone is an amazing alternative because it is totally inert, meaning it doesn't leach into products. So silicone is also great for babies and toddlers because it doesn't break. So Stasher bags are awesome replacement for Ziplocs. And replace plastic food storage with glass. This is a pretty important one. So start weeding out your Tupperware plastic Tupperware. My poor mother and mother-in-law are like, please stop with the demanding of glass storage, but they finally both changed. The thing is, chemicals will leach into from plastics will leach into food and liquids, especially when hot. So if you're putting hot leftovers into plastic, that is not good. Definitely do not microwave in plastic, and you shouldn't put plastic in the dishwasher because it does break it down. So the next time you use the plastic, it will leach more into the food inside. Try to use stainless steel or a glass reusable bottle. Stainless steel is obviously better for most people, and now they have them insulated. BPA free is not the answer. So some of those water bottles that say BPA free are, I still would not choose those if at all possible. Stainless steel, you can't break it, you can dent it, and if you leave it with liquid in it in the car in the winter, it will expand and get all weirdly shapen. I have done that, but mostly they're kind of indestructible. This is a glass carafe with a charcoal filter in it. So instead of Brita, or I used to use Soma, which it looks like this carafe is from Soma because I have the same one. And when I first bought it, they said that their filters were compostable, and then they weren't. So I actually have a filter that's about this big, which is plastic, but it's recyclable, that I got at Package Free Shop, which is an awesome resource. Or you can get this charcoal one as well, which I think has to be replaced more often, but I love it. It's great. If you still have nonstick pans, definitely one at a time. Start with the one that you use the most, and opt for cast iron or ceramic or stainless steel. And I know people will be like, but the food sticks to it. If you have your pan hot and you use oil, like I cook my scrambled eggs in my cast iron a lot, or I use a green pan. A lot of the eco non-stick are kind of questionable, so you definitely want to do your research on that. Again, pick a blogger who you like and see what their recommendations are. I do like green pan, although mine has gotten pretty scratched, and that makes me feel a little bit like, I hope it's still okay. But cast iron is pretty cheap, and like Lodge cast iron, your basics. You could also look at flea markets, estate sales, and local marketplaces for deals. So if you want to replace a whole lot of nonstick pans, you can do it that way. When you're thinking about purchasing furniture items and rugs and fabrics, try to avoid the stain repelling and flame retardants. It turns out that, so 1970 was when a lot of that came into being. So things that were built before that and made before that should be fine, unless they were recovered. And there are some new laws about those. So you should be okay if you're buying new. I like to buy from companies that are stating that they are sustainable and using organic materials. Though furniture can certainly be more expensive. So you want to, if you can, invest in those pieces. Otherwise, I would try to shop, vintage. So I started to talk about the dryer sheets and my dryer balls. So again, they're both toxic and hard to break down in the environment. I love dryer balls. They're about $14 for 2 or 3 of them. I put 2 or 3 in the dryer. They not only absorb static cling, and you can add an essential oil to them if you do want fragrance, but they help dry your clothes faster, which uses less energy, and it's better on your clothes So you have to replace your clothes less often, which again, the fashion industry is a huge contributor to landfill. So the less you can buy, the better. Wash in cold water when you can, because that's uses less energy. Again, it's better for your clothes because it's just less harsh to them, so they will last longer. Use white vinegar for stains and odors. I actually use that as a cleaner with a few drops of essential oils. Again, you can find recipes online. I think it's basically 1-to-1 water to vinegar. And it's a great cleaner. So when somebody was asking about, are these products more expensive, you can make some of these yourself. You can buy a glass spray water bottle and just create the spray yourself. So it ends up being not very expensive. Bon Ami is a scrub that I also really like, which is about $2 or $3, and it gets amazing scores on EWG. If you like that sort of Ajaxy scrub, it's really good. Also, wash your clothes less often. I wear shirt, especially now, we're not really going anywhere. I wear my shirts, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, as long as they're feeling fresh. You could always hang it up and air it out just in your room, and it will mean that your clothes just last you for longer and you're doing less laundry, which is going to save you time and money and environment.